On the evening of September 27th, 2020, a frantic 911 call shattered the silence of a quiet neighborhood in Manatee County, Florida. A pregnant woman told dispatchers she had just shot her husband. She insisted it was self-defense. When deputies arrived, they found 54-year-old Douglas Benfield, a former Navy pilot and businessman, lying on the floor with multiple gunshot wounds. His wife, 24-year-old Ashley Benfield, claimed she had no choice. But as detectives reconstructed the final moments of Douglas's life, they discovered a story far more complicated than a simple act of self-defense. It was a story involving a whirlwind romance, a marriage built on trust that quickly collapsed, family conflict, financial struggles, years of accusations, and a shooting that divided public opinion across America. This is the case of Ashley Benfield. Ashley Benfield was only 24 years old when she met Douglas Benfield. Douglas, nearly 30 years older, was a successful businessman and a former Navy pilot. Friends described him as confident, ambitious, and determined. Their relationship moved incredibly fast. After knowing each other for only 13 days, they got married. To outsiders, it seemed impulsive, but the newlyweds believed they had found lasting love. Soon after their marriage, they dreamed of building a business together. Ashley was passionate about ballet. Together, they launched a ballet academy, hoping to create something meaningful. Instead of bringing them closer, however, the business became another source of stress. Financial problems began piling up. The academy struggled, money became tighter, arguments became more frequent. What had once looked like a fairy tale romance slowly transformed into a relationship filled with tension. The problems inside the marriage extended beyond finances. Douglas had a teenage daughter named Ava from a previous relationship. Ashley and Ava reportedly struggled to develop a healthy relationship. The tension inside the household continued to grow. As months passed, Ashley made numerous allegations against Douglas. She claimed he had become physically abusive. She alleged he controlled her. She even accused him of attempting to poison her. Douglas strongly denied these allegations. Investigators examined several of Ashley's claims over time. According to public court records, many of these accusations were never substantiated with sufficient evidence. The relationship deteriorated further. Court filings showed ongoing custody disputes involving the unborn child Ashley was carrying. Communication between the couple nearly collapsed. Friends on both sides described a marriage consumed by mistrust. September 27th, 2020. The marriage had reached its breaking point. Ashley was preparing to leave Florida and move to Maryland. According to her account, she intended to leave without Douglas. She later told investigators that when Douglas realized she planned to leave, he became furious. Ashley claimed he started yelling. She said he lunged toward her aggressively. Believing her life was in immediate danger, she reached for a handgun. She fired. Multiple shots rang out. Douglas collapsed. Ashley immediately contacted emergency services. During the emotional 911 call, she repeatedly stated she had acted in self-defense. Deputies rushed to the home. Paramedics attempted life-saving measures. Despite their efforts, Douglas Benfield died from his injuries. At first glance, Ashley's account appeared possible, but investigators knew that every self-defense claim must be tested against physical evidence. and that evidence would become the center of one of Florida's most closely watched homicide cases. Crime scene investigators carefully documented every piece of evidence. One fact immediately stood out. Douglas was completely unarmed. No weapon was found near him. Forensic experts analyzed the trajectory of every bullet. They studied blood patterns, body positioning, the location of shell casings. Medical examiners examined the direction and angle of the wounds. According to prosecutors, these findings did not fully support Ashley's description of Douglas charging directly toward her. Instead, forensic testimony suggested portions of the shooting unfolded differently from the narrative she had provided. The prosecution argued that the physical evidence contradicted key elements of Ashley's self-defense claim. The defense, however, maintained that years of emotional abuse had placed Ashley in constant fear. They argued that self-defense should not be judged only by seconds captured at the crime scene, but by the history of the relationship leading up to it. The courtroom became a battle between two very different interpretations of the same tragic event. The case finally went before a jury in 2024. Over several weeks, jurors heard testimony from investigators, medical experts, forensic specialists, friends, family members, and Ashley herself. Prosecutors argued that Douglas was not posing the immediate deadly threat required to justify lethal force. The defense insisted Ashley genuinely believed she was about to suffer serious harm. Jurors carefully reviewed photographs, medical evidence, witness testimony, and the forensic reconstruction. After deliberations, the jury rejected Ashley's claim of lawful self-defense. Instead, they found her guilty of manslaughter with a firearm. Although she was acquitted of murder, the conviction carried severe consequences. In December 2024, the judge sentenced Ashley Benfield to 20 years in prison, followed by 10 years of probation. The sentence brought one chapter of the case to an end. But public debate continued. Some believed the verdict reflected the strength of the forensic evidence. Others argued the justice system failed to fully understand the psychological impact of alleged domestic abuse. The case continues to be discussed by legal analysts because it highlights one of the most difficult questions courts face. When does fear legally justify deadly force? In Ashley Benfield's case, the jury concluded that the evidence did not establish lawful self-defense beyond the legal standard required. A husband lost his life, a young mother lost her freedom, and a family was forever changed. If you enjoy true crime documentaries built on verified court records and forensic evidence, subscribe for more real cases from around the world, because sometimes the most disturbing stories are the ones that actually happened.